via pensiero di vecchie. Oh man.
Yeah.
And we are live.
Woo.
Hey everybody. Welcome to turning myself down. Welcome to the watch party for Act 2 of La Boheme 2.0. We have a special guest tonight. This is Craig Trumpeter from Haymarket Opera. Welcome, Craig. We're excited to have you.
Ciao tutti.
We have our beautiful Musetta, Lauren Berman. Our hilarious Nick Ward, Schaunard. Hey.
Hi.
Our fantastic music director, Jim Welch.
Hi there.
The lovely and effervescent BernardHolcomb as Rodolfo. Hi. Elijah Lee, our amazing technical director.
Hello.
And over Lily with her little kitten, Lily, our Monelli, and her kitten, Freddie. Welcome, guys. We're so excited to have you here tonight. We have 8 people in the chat. Is that all of us?
There's 9. It says 9.
9.
It's 11.
11.
Number
Ooh,
9.
better.
Number 9.
Welcome.
Number
So
9.
the way that this works is we're going to watch the show together. You guys in the chat, please feel free to ask us questions. We also have a pitch hitter, Craig Trumpeter, here to, feel free to chime in anytime you have a question. We'll stop and answer questions as we go along. But let's get started. Yeah?
Okay.
Hi.
Let's do it.
I'm here on the chat. And so is Charlie.
All right, and
Welcome.
pressing play now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
That's perfect timing, Elijah.
Thank you. I worked on that very hard.
Look at the chorus.
Oh, it's so cute.
I have to watch
Anybody else thinks that Barry looks kind of like a monk or something?
She's very cool.
Oh, you guys. Yay! Last night, I decided to do a costume change from like the seat into my costume. That was a terrible idea.
Very brave.
I was, changing, and I looked up and I saw Dave with the horn, and I was like, oh crap! So good.
The prunes. It's so funny.
So good.
Alfredo and I sang in the same church choir together. I adore him.
Does Rachel have a thing of Oreos?
Yes.
Love it. The chorus is like beautiful chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe, did you already have a pink hat?
No, I had to buy it.
Oh. It looks good on you. Worth it.
Thanks. I got a darker one too, just in case that one didn't look good. And I'm set for winter. Yeah! Good laugh, Lily. Okay, Lily, I have a question for you. How hard was it to work on this?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Lily,
She couldn't hear it.
can you pause it, Elijah?
Sure. Pausing now. Give me a second.
Lily, how hard was it to learn this music? Oh. Was it harder than usual stuff? Was it harder than that Billie Eilish song that we worked on?
Yes. Yes. Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Because, I can understand that.
Well, what about how long did you have to learn this music?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. You worked pretty hard on it, huh? Yeah. Did you have a fun time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Gave me an excuse to skip some classes, so that was fun.
Ooh.
This is on the internet, right? Your teachers can see this.
They won't be watching. They don't really care, so it's fine.
Well, I know Miss Karen is watching you.
Oh, well, I didn't skip her classes. Her schools. I don't know. Anyway.
Our whole lifestyle has become about skipping things the last couple months.
That's fair. Craig, what are you drinking over there?
Oh, I got me my Scrumpy organic farm cider.
Oh, yum. I love Scrumpy cider. That's so good. I've got the right bee cider.
Oh, yum. They make this Perry, but they've stopped making it, I guess. I'm like,
really?
Yeah. I'm addicted. Anyway.
I think Bernard got kicked out. He's coming back.
Uh-oh.
All right, Elijah, let's keep going.
Okay.
The truth shall set you free.
Honesty is the best policy. That's what Lily says. That's true.
So I know it was a little hard to hear the music on the stream, so I just raised it for you guys.
Oh, thanks.
You're awesome.
Yeah, get it.
Man, Nick, you sound so good. Just kidding.
Oh my God, stop it.
I was watching like the Graham Norton show or something, and like Jessica Chastain and some other famous actors. That's what you made me think of, like these famous actresses who like mistake for each other. This is my favorite part of the whole opera.
Yeah.
Really?
This is like the superhero part. Puccini's rock band moment.
Oh, Dave.
Basso. I love the teddy bear.
I love it. I never noticed that salami.
Lily's hiding, you guys.
lot of words.
That was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
No one likes watching or hearing themselves perform.
Oh, I love it.
I'm just kidding.
Unless you're perfect like Johanna. Then
Or a
Not
sinner.
perfect. Really happy to not be perfect. Right, Giorgio? Make those R's, man. Yeah.
Signorina mi dijeron raro, le ho fatto solo Rodolfo.
Una cuffietta pizzicata e rosa ricamata, quei miei capelli bruni pensi fondi, da tanto tempo dal cuffietta e cosa desiata. So beautiful.
Beautiful, Johanna.
Oh, thanks. How like Puccini makes this so awkward. So fun.
but it works
Yeah, it works
perfectly. Like how could it be any other way?
Say that again?
Could it be any other way?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. Right? Like me and Rodolfo both are like kind of like fluffy duffies, whatever, and the guys are all like,
Oh.
Pause it.
"Hey, Kevin."
Love it.
Cheers.
I didn't hear your laugh until I watched it later.
I know. Well, I'm laughing for a really long time because it kept cutting me off.
Rude. Chris Peterson says that
Agreed.
Come chi fuori qui. Tale non ne prego servatele a tu per
I love Dorian's outfit.
So good. My husband said he was like Will I Am.
yeah, that's like Will I Am. I did not think about that. Oh my god. His costume or like his outfits are so crazy. Will I
So
Am.
good.
Marcello mi vire, non mi guarda di vire, non che ride.
Very serious.
Non potesse picchiare, non potesse crabbiare, ma non so che qui
Hear this popcorn. Mary smelled her plate.
Zitto, mo di carbo. A chi parli? con chi parli.
Voglio fare piaceri.
Alla pian,
O far quel che mi pare.
alla pian, alla pian.
Dorian.
I know he's like, I'm ignoring the shit out
So
of
good.
I mean, the stuff.
La convenienza,
It's the internet.
la virtù.
It was just a short clip. Yeah. It was the most cooperative we've had.
Wait till my face freezes.
Vedi bene che ordino.
Sappi per tuo governo che non darei perdono sempite.
Gotta bring it down. Gotta bring it down. I love the lipstick, Lauren. That's so great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see your face.
Ma il tuo cuore martella.
Parla piano.
Andrew's doing so great.
He's so funny. He's so funny.
Yeah, he really is. Yes.
Quando time.
Fix those earphones. Oh. Did we lose our... Oh, there she is.
Legatemi alla seggio. La gente che dirà.
Perfect. Oh, that face that Andrew is giving. Oh my god.
It's so good.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch Dorian this time because on Wednesday this week was like with the waterfall, so it was so hilarious. I don't know.
Quel canto scuro.
I love this. I love how Joe comes back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it off, Andrew.
Yes!
Quella gente che dirà.
So good.
Yay, Lauren.
Fraschetta l'abbandonò per darsi al miglior vino e cercare quanto in lui insimile brino per felicità.
La piano.
Poi bella io non son certo. Quel bramato
Nick.
Dove?
Dorian is so good.
So good.
Oh wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
How did Dorian's camera get turned off after he walked out?
Oh, that's a great answer. Okay, can we pause for a second?
I did.
So Dorian was really like he really wanted to walk out on the scene, and I was like, okay, but if you don't make your screen dark, then everything's gonna get screwed up for the end, you know? So he was like, oh, okay, I know what I'll do. I said, what? And he goes, I'm gonna take my mouse out with me, and then I'm just gonna clear.
Oh, that's so smart.
He's such a genius. Really, like such a great actor.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to work with him.
Because Alcindoro can be so dull. And I love his, and I also love, like, right after where we stopped, you see him peek in through the door.
I did not know that. I'm looking for it now.
It's great.
He's definitely sassy.
He's
So
so
much sass.
sassy.
That's that.
Dorian and I got the chance to do Haymarket's show in November, and that's where I met him. And I'm so grateful to you, Craig, because I think he's such a great find.
It was, yeah.
He's incredible. Say that again?
He's one of a kind.
Absolutely.
As are you, my dear.
Oh, thank you. As are you, my dear. All right, let's keep going, Elijah.
Okay.
Così presto. Chi l'ha richiesto? Vediamo.
Joe, I love that we turned the same way.
Oh, did we? Oh, good. I didn't even notice.
Siamo all'asciutto.
I had so many thoughts like, afterwards, like, oh, we could have planned this, we could have planned that, and I was like, never mind. Let's do this stuff in Act 3.
It was quite fun. Fun bunch. Great bunch.
Lydia said great work, everyone. Thanks, Lydia.
It's making it rain.
più fiero tu non dico che sabor maggior Iso per ecco il sabor maggior in general
You better sing Alfredo.
Francia il più il bel tambor maggior ecco l'olio che guarda passava
Yay!
That was
That
fun.
was so much fun.
Bravi!
Bravi tutti.
Oh, you guys too. That was so great. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Who played the snare drum?
Jim.
I did.
Who did?
I did. It's on my keyboard.
Oh.
Yeah. I recorded everything on a keyboard, and it was a direct patch right into the computer. So, it was just easier that way because my family could do whatever they want in the house, and it wouldn't disrupt the recording, and which was good too because that track actually took me over 9 hours to get just right.
Oh my god!
So yeah, it was a very, very long overnight process.
It was a process for sure. Yeah.
That was definitely the longest. Act 1 didn't take nearly that long, and neither did Act 3. Act 3 is almost done. I've probably put close to 4 hours into it. And we'll lay the last track down when we're done here. But yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do a click track?
I can. I generally don't. I mean, you know, with Puccini, you just get going with one beat, and then all of a sudden, 2 beats later, it's a new tempo.
It was really Jim really listening to the singers like about what they wanted for the tempo. That really made it work. Like he's such a great accompanist. Seriously.
Well, how do you do like fermatas and stuff like that?
Talk about
well, we all had a meeting to talk about things, and I did a lot of listening, and it really just depends on knowing the style, the time period, and exactly what they're singing, and then even then, you know, just have to make a few really good artistic guesses sometimes. But through the rehearsal process, you know, we discovered, I think at the end of the Quando section where they're all singing, I had originally left that fermata maybe about 2 beats too long. And after a couple of tries, we're like, no, it's got to be shorter. So I just went into my program and just went snip and just cut out a few beats. And after hearing them do it a couple of times, I'm able to just kind of hear that, luckily, when I'm working with the editor.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a process. I'm learning a lot through this. Having a great time though.
Craig, do you have any other questions?
Oh,
Sure.
no. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you.
I loved everybody's improvised props, and you know, it's really I guess I'd never noticed it before until I watched you guys do this, that how much like there's total chaos for like, you know, all the crowd scene, and then these like killer phrases happen that are just, it's just overwhelming actually, the emotion that in just these little bits, you know, and it's what makes the opera so great. I mean, I think it's, you know, I remember the first time I saw it, I was probably about 20, and I don't think I'd ever really been to the opera before, and it was in English. I didn't know the piece, and I was a mess. Emotionally, I was just like weeping the whole time, And that's what the piece does. I mean, it's almost like Puccini like engineered it to grab your heart, because every time I hear it, I still cry. I mean, I know the piece really well now, but it's just so intense and powerful. So great job. Really, it worked even in this format.
Thank you. If you guys haven't checked out Haymarket Opera, they're amazing. You should check out
different repertoire.
Totally different repertoire, but that's okay. Haymarket's been posting these videos that all of the artists have done, like little arias and stuff from home. It's been so fun to watch everybody, interact with their space. And we've got what's the girl's name who did the cupcake aria?
Which?
She was singing with her cupcake. I can't think of her name.
Oh, that's Lindsay Metzger.
Oh yeah, Lindsay. And there was a gentleman I haven't met who was singing with his yarn balls, and it's really fun.
Justin, yeah. Everybody had a good time, I think, during
it. Was great. I think that was really creative.
We just left
it was very cool.
To do their own thing, and it turned out really well.
Yeah.
The hardest part was selecting 5 seconds of everybody's.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure. Well, I'm glad to get to watch all of them. If you go to their Facebook page, they have all of the full recordings there now. It's so much fun to watch.
Yours is hilarious with your doggies.
They love it when I sing. Right, George? You can't tell, it's just right here.
Oh,
little rodent.
Boy nugget.
So what's next after this?
Well, we are gonna do a one-woman show this summer, which I'm producing. Lesha and I are producing, and then in the fall, should I announce it?
I mean, why don't you wait until after Act 4?
Yeah,
okay.
I'd wait.
So next week we're gonna do Act 3, which unfortunately Nick is not in. Well, I'm sad about it, Nick. You're great.
I'll get to watch it. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, thanks. But Act 3 is kind of where things get serious. So, yeah. And
so I am not in it.
Yeah.
Which is serious.
Last week, Lauren was saying how she thinks your part is the hardest in the whole opera. How did you prepare?
I didn't say that. My husband said that, for the record. And that was because I said I think my part is the hardest to learn. So, yeah. Do you want to fight over it?
No, I know. Before I did Schaunard the first time last summer, everyone said, "Oh, Schaunard's the hardest role in the opera because you have so many tiny interjections, so you have to know everybody's part around you." And I would agree that that's difficult, but I think it's like riding a bike. Like once you know it all, it just sticks. Like it all stuck from last summer. So.
See, that's so interesting to me because it was a while ago that we did this, 6 years ago, right?
6 years ago.
So weird. But so I guess I hadn't looked at it for that long. But when I pulled out to start working on Act 2, I was like, I have never seen this in my life. I felt like I was completely. Eventually, it came back, but it really did take a week of drilling it before my body remembered it.
Yeah.
Even listening to the recording, I was like, I don't even know, because it's all descanty obligato stuff, chirpy stuff. There's nothing to hold on to except the aria. That part's fine.
Nick, where did you do it last summer?
Union Avenue Opera in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And actually our Marcello was the Marcello in that production as well. So it's nice to have, familiar face.
Cool.
Are you in St. Louis?
Sorry?
Are you in St. Louis?
Last summer, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But are you in Chicago now?
Oh, yeah, I'm based in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah. I met Nick through through Ian Hosak.
Yeah, Ian's my partner. Yeah.
Ian.
Do you know Ian?
Oh, you might not know him.
Okay. He's a great baritone and also like a whiskey extraordinaire person. He sells whiskey. So
we need to know each other.
Yeah. You didn't know that, Lauren?
No. Why is this happening after I left Chicago?
I know. Sorry.
We got a question for Lily.
Yeah. In the page, in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't see it.
Lily, after this experience, do you want to do more operas?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yay.
Why?
Fun.
Good.
It's harder, which is fun.
Thanks for the great question, Lydia.
And thank you for saying that, Lily, because I think not everybody understands that opera can be fun and opera can be funny and opera can be relatable, that it's not always crying and dying. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of that.
Yes. Tune in for Act 3 and 4. But yeah, like the fun, the humor, like that's just as important.
Well, I'm going to say this like probably 100 years from now, but I'm so grateful to you guys for this experience because I don't know how I would do this without all of you, honestly. So thank you.
I feel the same.
Thank you.
Does anyone have anything else to say or any questions or any comments? Craig, should we turn it back to you?
Bravi tutti. It was really, it's just such a virtuosic piece, and it's, I mean, any piece of music is hard to do, I think, in this way, this digital format. But like you chose like a really tough project, and it came off really well. So congratulations. It's such a tour de force, and it's so complicated. Even though it's fun, it's complicated, and it was just really impressive.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Thanks for
Thank you
doing
for joining us tonight. So great to have you.
Yeah. It's so then I mean, I do early music, but I'm like a total Verdi, Puccini, Wagner, like closet lover.
You don't have to be in the closet.
Madame.
It all started with the early stuff. I mean,
my new project is to do a period performance of The Ring. So learn your part. It's not going to happen.
But that sounds like so much fun.
I just need like $7 million.
Okay, great.
Now, if somebody practices 8 hours a day for that, I mean, will they learn like a few pages?
I don't know. We just have to like get all the period Wagner tubas and.
Yeah.
But you know, there's actually my friend Sally Jackson who, she played bassoon in the Dragon of Whatley. You might.
Oh, okay.
She's British. She's lovely, and she did a recording, live performance of Rheingold with Simon Rattle in Baden-Baden. And if you love Wagner, which I'm only now like really getting into, this performance is really worth watching. So if you have 2.5 hours to spare, just get on YouTube, and it's the Rheingold from Baden-Baden with Simon Rattle, and it's on period instruments. It's magical.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I'd love to hear this piece on period instruments as well, actually.
So would I.
Different sound, and I think it would be really interesting and beautiful. So.
Do you think it changes the way that people sing?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean,
Wait, silent here. Go ahead.
No, I think absolutely. I mean, I think that, the Wagner orchestra is so big, and the Puccini orchestra for that matter. And I think there's, for one thing, there's just a little bit less sound coming out of the orchestra with period instruments, but also the constant vibrato, like nonstop vibrato, is really a mid 20th century phenomenon. That's when it started. It started in the 1920s. So before that, vibrato was not a given, except in the human voice. But in the instrumental work, it wasn't really. So you've got these really pretty pure orchestral sounds over which the voice is much more differentiated, I think. So it'd be interesting to hear. I know there are little bits of things, like Jane Eaglin did a Wagner and Bellini disc with, I forget which orchestra, but period. She did like Norma and maybe the Liebestod or something like that. And
I think I've listened to that recording. I think
it's quite beautiful. I don't remember the orchestra, but yeah, I mean, I think in the next 20 years, I think there's going to be a lot more of that. I mean, if we ever come back,
we will.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, it does make a difference. So
I would be really curious to see how that informs the performance, because I feel like Mimi is like there's not a ton of singing in Mimi. It's actually a lot more of like speaking. There's these like big phrases, but then you have a lot of talking that's not. And I wonder if having like a vibrato-less orchestra would lead to a different interpretation for a lot of singers. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would think so too.
Yeah. I noticed, I mean, it wasn't opera, but when I was in college and we did the Israel and Egypt by Handel, and we rehearsed it all semester singing, and then we got with the ensemble and it was period instruments. Oh, wow. And there are a couple spots where like, wait a minute.
Where did you go to school?
We don't have those notes down there.
It was down there.
It just felt so different and of course on 2 rehearsals. It was in my master's at East Carolina University. But they had a very strong early music representation at school, and it was a good opportunity. But I'll just never forget after 2 months of rehearsing, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's like we don't have those notes. It took some getting used to, but I mean, it was really neat though. It's an experience that I think everyone should have.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that there's a lot that I think we talk about our performance style as being the romantic style, but it's really not. It's more of a 20th century thing. And to go and listen, I don't know how much of the really early recordings but some of those really great old recordings are really worth listening to. It's illuminating to find out how we are so we're influenced by the recording industry.
Yeah.
Into making things that are consistently the same way and kind of a little bit more predictable. And I think that before the recording industry, it was much more about the individual performer and their take on any role or any piece of music, and that it was a lot more of the individual put into the performance. So it's worth, if you don't know some of those old things, it would be interesting to go back and listen to them and hear the style, because it's kind of, in some ways, it's a little bit shocking what they were really doing.
Do you have any recommendations in particular?
A good place to start, there's this hilarious YouTube channel called Early Music Sources.
Okay.
And
yeah.
And there's an episode. They're about 20-25 minute episodes, and one of them is called something like early recordings or something like that. And it's a lot of singing, actually, but it also has a big bibliography that you can go, and it'll link you to a million different YouTube recordings, and it is really worth checking out, because I think it gives you a lot of I don't know, the reason I do early music is that it kind of opens up it doesn't give me more rules. I mean, I guess it does in some ways, but it sparks the imagination more. So
we have less performance rules and more like structural rules, if that makes sense.
Well, I feel like the sort of the modern, I mean, it's not the way it was when I went to school. There was sort of this modern way of playing that was pretty dull, I think. I think that things have changed quite a lot in the last 25 years. But a lot of the performance practice literature that, the written literature that you can read about it gives you more ideas rather than giving you more, things, more rules. It actually, like, when you take vibrato out, for instance, you have to come up with something much more interesting to do than just go.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to use your bow or really learn how to articulate it in a beautiful way. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but it's
I think it's great.
But there's lots of things to learn about this period of music as well, Puccini's era.
Yeah.
That will actually spark your imagination rather than, feel like more rules. I think it was a lot sloppier, actually.
Yeah, totally.
Which is fun.
More a way of life than
and more passionate too. I think we tend to be a little more careful than they probably were.
Well, I think that like Puccini was really trying to encapsulate like an entire theatrical experience, right? And I feel like we're so like we like put our gloves on and like just try to make it like all perfect and everything, and that's not how real life is, and that's we're messy.
That's not what the story is.
Yeah,
that's not who these characters are. They're not in neat little packages.
No.
Well, and I doubt Puccini was thinking, here's a good story. Here's some lyrics, and I think it would work in 4/4. Okay, now I'll write a melody. I doubt that any composer that's made it as far as he has just would think like that. I mean, I could hear maybe like a melody to the story, and then maybe some ideas of color and style, and then it's like afterwards, yep, I better put it in 4/4 just so that they know how to count it and put it together. It's like, here are some bar lines. I mean, they're just measures, but they're not crutches. I call I say sometimes to students the bar lines. It sounds like you're doing. I call it bar line stalling. I was like, it's not a hurdle. You don't hesitate. You just it's just there for learning purposes.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my soapbox that I'll get off of.
What you got, Craig?
Oh, I'm excited.
All right. This is a must-read book. It's called Understanding Italian Opera by Tim Carter.
Okay.
And he talks in depth. Oops, it's upside down. He talks in depth about Popea, I think is the first one. Monteverdi Popea. It's Popea, and then Julius Caesar. It's like all the biggies. Julius Caesar of Handel, Marriage of Figaro, Rigoletto, and then Boheme. And it's all about the text, the librettos, and how they're organized, and the poetry, and it's really fascinating and really inspiring. I highly recommend. It's not that.
What's the name of that?
It's called Understanding Italian Opera by Tim Carter. He's a big Jacopo Peri and Monteverdi specialist, but he also writes about like musicals. He's just a really intelligent guy.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, and it's just it's fascinating to read about. Like, he talks about how the stories go from their original sources. Like, all of those operas come, well, except for Popea, I guess. They all come from plays or novels or something. Right? Popea is not based on, well, I guess it's sort of based on several things, but not one specific work. So he talks about the transition from the original, and and then like some of the things that changed along the way between the composer and the librettist. And it's just really good reading, and it clarifies. For one thing, if nothing else, you will understand the plot of The Marriage of Figaro for the first time, which I find baffling. I feel like there's so many like weird things in Figaro that are it's like the music is so great it doesn't matter, but if you really actually want to understand the story better, it's a good start. Anyway,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say I gotta go. I have another video date at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
It was great to see you guys.
Bye. Thank you
This
so
was a lot of
much.
fun.
You too.
Thank you, Nick.
Great to meet you, Craig.
Likewise.
We should probably stop the video here, but we can keep chatting after if you want.
Okay, Dave.
I'm gonna get another one of these. So, have a good night, everybody. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for joining
Thanks
us,
for being
Craig. I
here.
really appreciate your input.
Absolutely, it was fun. Great fun.
Yeah.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.
Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.